Hi, this is Matt from tracyandmatt.co.uk and from unboxings.com. Here I have the Archos 3-cam Vision. Just going to do a quick unboxing video for you and take a look at the media player itself before we go ahead and do the full review. So fairly small packaging, and we pull it all out, and that's what we have. So move the box to one side. The little media player, the Archos 3, is on top. Come back to that in just 1 second. There is a set of headphones here, which has a standard 3-pole, 3.5mm headphone socket on one end. There is a lanyard type sort of affair here, which basically connects to a lanyard loop on the actual device, so that it stops you from sort of tagging or pulling too hard actually on the connector there. Stops it coming unplugged. And then the actual headphones themselves with an adjustable sort of neck piece on obviously the other end. They're okay, very plasticky, kind of the sort of just about average plastic in-ear style headphones. Nothing terribly impressive or exciting, and I'm sure, like most people, you're going to want to use your own headphones with this media player rather than using those that are supplied. We then have a user manual, which is sort of kind of like a large leaflet which folds out. It does cover the basics like getting started, plugging in, synchronizing and stuff like that. Not very complex or long-winded. There's also a leaflet here offering 35 free MP3s and 1 free audiobook, and then the manual or getting started guide in Italian and French languages there. So not an awful lot in the package itself. In order to charge, you're going to have to use a mini USB connector. There's one on the bottom. Now my review package here doesn't have a USB to mini USB connector or cable. I would expect that that would come with the proper retail. This isn't a full retail, this is obviously a review unit, so I suspect that possibly that's missing from my review unit, and it would be supplied with a full retail. As you can see here, it's a little bit dirty, so we'll just give it a quick rub on the t-shirt, as I expect most people will do when actually using it day to day. So on the front we have a touch sensitive 3-inch TFT display, which is 240 by 400 pixels. It's also a little back kind of navigation button at the bottom there that you can see there. It is also touch sensitive. Very shiny and reflective screen. How that will perform in direct sunlight, we're not sure at the moment, but comment on that when it comes to the full review. Left hand side has absolutely nothing, but on the bottom we have a lock switch and power. If we slide it to one side, hopefully it should power up. And there's a little headphone socket there, 3.5mm headphone connector. Obviously use the headphones that come with it or your own. The other, sliding the switch in the other direction will form a lock, so it stops you from accidentally touching the screen, changing the station or whatever. And then that mini USB connector is for sync and charge. See, quite important. Really nothing on the right hand side or on the top. However, on the back we do have a camera. Now it's unusually placed, the camera, because it's right on the bottom rather than on the top or the middle or anywhere else. Unusual placements have it right on the bottom there, like that. Now this is an 8GB model, so it has 8 gigs of internal memory. You'll notice there's no card sockets or anything like that, so you can't supplement the memory with additional. And the only other thing on the back is actually a reset button. Now, specification I have doesn't tell me how many megapixels the camera is, but it does tell me that we can record MPEG-4 video formats in VGA at 15 frames per second and quarter VGA up to 30 frames per second. Now I suspect that means that it's actually a fairly low pixel count camera, not a high-res camera, and it tends to suggest the fact that it is so small in there at the bottom and its placement. I suspect that that's probably a VGA camera, not anything higher. But again, we'll just talk about that when we come to the full review, and we'll take some sample shots as well. So power up. The interface here, it is fully customized. It's not a version of Android or anything like that. It's a custom interface made by Archos. Obviously full color display. Does allow us to choose between it, so we've got music and we can resume playing. It is a resistive touchscreen rather than capacitive, so it does require a little bit of pressure to actually do anything. but that is playing some of the tracks here that are pre-installed, sample music if you like. So we can go back, got video, press again, Big Buck Bunny is apparently on there, continue from last position, yes, there we go, and that's playing quite happily. Quick touch, there we go. And it's actually quite good. I mean, it's 240 by 400 pixels, not the highest resolution, but it is only a 3-inch display. Colourful and quite crisp. Seems to perform quite well. There's obviously some movement there, and there's no real sort of trails or blurring. It looks quite good. But again, we'll talk about that when it comes to the full review. Photos. See if there are any photos on here. There's apparently some from New York from 2007. Take a quick look. Cool, and we can look at the next one. It moves on. Load time isn't particularly fast. I suspect these are being left on here actually by a previous reviewer. Camera, everything requires a double press. So you click on photo, you go to camera, and you press again to actually go into the camera. It launches the camera eventually. I say the placement of it on the bottom is a little strange, but you kind of have to spin the device round, and let's just pop those in front. And now just take a quick shot. That's taken a quick picture. I'm sure there must be a way of reviewing them, presumably on the photos. And see if that's the one that I just took. There we go. And that's the picture I just took, and we can navigate to the others. And there are some samples on here. As I say, possibly left by a previous reviewer, because as I say, this is a proper review model rather than a retail. And then finally we've got radio. Now it has a radio tuner as well as a radio transmitter, which is pretty cool. So if you're listening to things in your car, if you want to listen to MP3s in your car, you can use it as an FM transmitter. So it'll actually broadcast your MP3 tracks so that your radio in your car will pick it up, which is quite cool. Also, you obviously can use it to listen to FM radio stations. You can also record the FM radio stations, which is a fairly unusual feature. Most devices don't allow you to do that, and there also somewhere is, although I don't know where it will be, there is also a built-in microphone which will allow you to record your voice for using for dictation and that kind of stuff. Maybe even if you wanted to do sort of a little recording of say a podcast or something like that, you could actually use this device to do it, so it's quite cool. So that is a really quick look really at the Archos 3 Vision. So this is the 8GB model. If you want to know how big it is, I'll run down the specification. It's 97mm from top to bottom, 52 wide, and just 9mm thick. Really lightweight as well, only weighs 67 grams, or 64 grams in fact, so very lightweight. I'm guessing that Archos are really positioning themselves to compete with the iPod, and as are all devices, I guess, that are these sort of media players. But it's a little bit more unusual with the camera on the back, so I guess that's sort of trying to compete with the iPod having the cameras on it and that sort of stuff now, so it's pretty cool. Plays back an awful lot of media formats: MPEG, WMV, FLV, AVI, and Real Media or Real Player 8, which is quite good. MP3, MP3 playback, AAC, FLAC, and OGG are supported as well as WAV, so it's pretty good. So you're really going to need to sync this up with your PC in order to get the best out of it, of course, because you're going to want to transfer your media from your PC to this product. You're not going to be able to do that specifically with iTunes, although there's some plugins that you can use that will allow you to sync with iTunes. It will work with Windows Media Player though, or it can use mass storage mode. So to say, that's a really quick look at the Archos 3 Vision. We'll have a full review for you over the next week or so on tracyandmatt.co.uk. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/tracyandmatt. And I'll be back soon with some more videos and reviews on tracyandmatt.co.uk. But for now, thanks for watching.
Bitdefender is dedicated to protecting people's digital lives, so working with unboxes.com to help preview and review the latest technology is a perfect fit.